I have the absolute pleasure to talk to our iHeartRadio future star, Annika. How are you doing? And also, how are you feeling? Because you are about to have a baby. Time's ticking any time, Annika.
I know, it is crazy. I'm feeling great. I kind of feel like a combination of really bad test anxiety when I think about labor, but then also the excitement you feel when you're about to go on vacation. Like, I'm very excited, very nervous. I want it to happen tomorrow, and I also don't want it to happen for another month. So I'm just embracing every day of pregnancy left. And then I think, yeah, before I know it, I'll have a little son or daughter, which is crazy.
So exciting. I'm so happy for you. And I've been following your journey on your blog. And I was reading your blog. I'm like, no wonder her blog is so good, because she's such a good songwriter. And
thank you.
No worries. I've been watching your YouTube videos with your vlogs, your prenatal workouts, your songwriting scam. And I hope going into motherhood and, continuing with your music journey and your life journey, that you'll continue your blog and your vlogs. Do you have any plans to continue doing that?
Absolutely. I think one of the things when I was part of Leading Thomas that I loved doing was the vlog, because I love looking back on this time in my life. I think it'd be so cool if my mom had taken more photos when she was pregnant, or if she had, vlogs existed back then. I think it's really, I'm doing it mostly so that I can look back on it, or my kids can look back on it someday. And they're also just really fun to make. And, sometimes, especially in pregnancy, you just have to embrace it. There are just like things that don't always go according to plan. And I just find if I can make something into a bit of a joke, it makes my life better. So the songwriting scam is a perfect example. I could have been really upset about that, but I just thought this was the most hilarious thing. So I am still planning on documenting life. And I grew up in a house where my dad videotaped everything. So I have like hundreds of family videos, and people think it's so crazy, and I love watching them. So I do plan to continue the blog and vlog. So stay tuned for that.
Awesome. And I want to congratulate you on your single. I really don't want to. It is so good. Every time I hear it in the morning on the radio, I'm like, yes, Annika. And you are a woman after my own heart, because on your blog, you said the song was inspired by a Jennifer Aniston and Mark Ruffalo movie, rumor has it, and a line specifically in it. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So have you seen the movie?
Yes.
Okay. So obviously throughout the movie, Jennifer Aniston is not making the greatest decisions.
No,
okay.
She
and you
is
feel
not.
really bad for Mark Ruffalo. And then at the end, she wants to be with him. And he says, how am I supposed to believe you? You're sitting here telling me that you suddenly can't live without me. And she says, oh, I can live without you. I just don't want to. And I always thought that was such a great line, because I think as a woman, I fall in love very easily, but I also have been known to get over heartbreak relatively easily, because I've always known in my gut that I'm a great person. I'll find someone when the time is right. I'm fine on my own, but I also love love. And so I really wanted to write a song that was about falling in love and being vulnerable, but also knowing your own worth. And that's how I look at my marriage, is like, I could live without Spencer in my life, but I don't want to at all, because he's wonderful. So it's kind of a song of empowerment, but also I think it's also empowering to be vulnerable. So it's kind of a mix of both.
It really is the perfect mix of both. And you are such a talented piano player, and you have the piano in there and the guitar. And
I'm bringing piano to country music. That's my goal in life. Like, let's do it.
Yes. And you were actually on cruise ships before, working at a piano bar. So what was that like? And again, like you said, bringing piano into country, because we hear the guitars, we hear the drums, we hear the banjos. I think we need a little bit more piano.
I agree. So I worked on cruise ships for almost 5 years as a piano bar entertainer, which was a really great experience, because you're sitting there and you have people shouting out everything throughout the decades that they want you to play. So part of the reason I thought about combining my love of country music and piano was because as a piano bar entertainer, when they say play Patsy Cline, I'm not whipping out a guitar. I'm playing all these covers on the piano. And I've always been inspired by Stevie Wonder, Elton John, Alicia Keys, like all these other genres have been able to bring piano into it. And I've always thought that there's a place for that in country. So I was a bit curious to see how it would go, just because it's kind of unusual, but that is really where I am at home, is at the piano. And I'm really excited that this record highlights that instrument, and we used it when songwriting, because that's, again, the instrument I used to write on. So instead of switching everything over to guitars to make it sound country, we just let the music do what it was going to do. And so to hear this song on the radio with such a great, piano solo and that live band feel, is pretty amazing. I was not expecting that. So that's really exciting.
So Annika, you are set to release your first solo project, which will be split into 2 EPs and then a deluxe album, Stand Still, which I'm very excited to hear. And also too, this is really cool. It was helped produced by your husband, Spencer, which I'm sure is interesting to have your husband there, because you're like, okay, I have work Spencer and then I have husband Spencer. Do you find that mixes in a lot where you're like, okay, Spencer, no, what I say goes, and you're like, oh yeah, you're the producer?
Yes, it certainly is. I mean, overall, it's amazing having my husband as a producer, because you have complete freedom to, be yourself. And Spencer's very good at listening to his wife, both as an artist and as a wife. But yeah, he's been my only producer since I was 21 and started working with him. So we have always had a very good working relationship, but I definitely think, we're much more open with each other now, because there's probably a little lack of professionalism when I say I want something and he disagrees with me. Sometimes we'll be talking about it over dinner, or there's not really that hard line of work life versus marriage life. But overall, I would say I'm pretty good about letting him do his thing, because I trust him so much, obviously. And this was a unique project because he wrote 90% of the songs with me.
Wow.
So it makes a big difference when they understand the vision from the very beginning. And I believe that he is the best person to work on the project, not just because he's my husband. I always want to tell people, when I say my husband's producing the album, they're kind of like, okay. And then I want to say, well, he also is a Juno Award winning producer. So he's not just some like guy in his basement fiddling around with Pro Tools. So I'm very fortunate that I get so much of his time and attention. And that's why this album, I just think, is the culmination of years of writing together, years of working together. So we really are a team in that way. And I'm very grateful that he's my producer and husband.
Well, I'm very anxious to listen to it. I am so enjoying your single. I really don't want to. Congrats on being our iHeartRadio Future Star, and congrats to being a soon-to-be mom. This is going to be such a new adventure for you, and it's so exciting.
Thank you so much. I feel like after the year of COVID, it's like we need good things in the world. So babies, music, it's nice to see everyone, a lot of people releasing music, and I'm happy to be moving on to this next chapter for sure.
Great. Well, thank you so much. And I'm going to be following you on your vlog channel. So I'm hoping that you upload soon.
I will. Well, as soon as the baby comes, you're going to have probably my whole labor story on there.
Yeah.
Maybe not as many details as people want. But no, there will definitely be updates. So stay tuned.
Great. Thank you so much, Annika.
Thank you.